Saquon Barkley got his bag today. And we're going to talk about Saquon Barkley, who agreed to a 2-year, $41 million contract extension with the Eagles, according to Adam Schefter. And that makes him the NFL's first $20+ million running back and the highest paid at the position in league history. The extension does create a $1.332 million in salary cap space. So you just look at Howie Roseman had just been in his bag with the roster construction. Prior to Barkley was Christian McCaffrey, CMC, who was the highest paid running back in the sport. He broke Jonathan Taylor's record at $14 million. CMC was at $19 million. So he set the market. He's at $20.6 million per year. Can also earn an extra $15 million in incentives and escalators. The deal includes $36 million that is fully guaranteed at the signing. And the Eagles, I mean, they're extending Saquon Barkley 1 year into his 3-year deal. So it's the same league year in which they signed him. So how do you get deals like that done? Well, you rush for over 2,000 yards. You help lead a team to a Super Bowl. You win the Offensive Player of the Year. And now you get this massive, massive extension. And you got to be excited for the Eagles, man. You might be 5-peating now, man. I mean, like with Saquon, here, let's kind of rewind, J-Rob. The first thing that sticks to me is when you think of Saquon Barkley, I don't think you're going to ever think of him in that blue New York Giants uniform. He's going to be remembered as an Eagle. I mean, did he even play for the Giants at this point? I mean, I'm pretty sure that the Eagles draft him out of Penn State now. He never left Pennsylvania.
It's really crazy because nobody's going to remember that. Like, his run with the Eagles is like the point. It's almost like a prelogue to a movie or something.
No, yeah.
Like the Giants were his like AAA team.
Yeah.
And then the Eagles.
That's a good way to put it.
It's the big league. So
somewhere in between college and the NFL.
Yeah.
That's where the Giants were. Yeah. I like that little bridge to that. And yeah, I mean, it's Marshall Faulk. I mean, he was on Jimmy Fallon, the Tonight Show, and he said that, hey, like Marshall Faulk was with the Colts. He went to the Rams. And he said that he wanted to be remembered as an Eagle. And look, he ran for, I mean, just look at 2,504 yards regular season in the playoffs. He broke Terrell Davis's record for most rushing yards combined in one season. So we had that segment. We were so upset about not getting that season and breaking Eric Dickerson's record.
Yep.
But it's cool to see that he does have that regular season plus playoffs record there. I mean, he had 2,005 yards in the regular season before he sat in his final game, so he didn't get to break Eric Dickerson's single game record. But I think that the big takeaway for me is that Howie Roseman said you have to be patient. Eagles fans are patient, and it's really, really paying off. And another thing, too, I mean, I hate to somehow link this to the Cowboys, but this is how it's done. Okay. I mean, if you want to save money and you want to lock up your players early, this is how you do it, Jerry Jones, because the Eagles are just running a master class in how to keep talent, acquire talent. I mean, I saw people on X and they have money. How do they have money? You know, it's like, it's crazy.
They're the NFL's Dodgers. They want to win for a lifetime, and they're willing to spend whatever it takes to do it. Yeah, you know who? And
they understand their window.
Yeah. You have a moment to maximize, and they're going to maximize it. I mean, the Cincinnati Bengals could take a page out of their book too.
For sure. That absolutely. I mean,
pennies.
And that's the thing. It's a hard cap, right? I mean, guys can't. I mean, you have a certain amount of money you can spend, and you can restructure deals. And we know, the salary cap, is it real or is it not? Of course, that's a different debate. But really, it's their ability to just kind of have that instinct. I mean, I think with the Giants, he couldn't take a break. On the Giants, he had to go out there, and to give them a chance to win, he had to tote the rock and just kind of really run himself into the ground.
100%.
With the Eagles, if he needed to sit, he could sit. I mean, a couple games, he had some stingers. He sat out a quarter. I mean, they were up so much in the fourth quarter, he got to rest. I think this is just a perfect situation for Saquon Barkley. And this Eagles team, it's kind of one of the things like, man, like everyone talked about the Chiefs and having a dynasty. Well, I mean, you look at Super Bowl in 2018, one in 2025. I mean, those are pretty far apart. But I think that the Eagles, a franchise that went so many years without having a Lombardi trophy, are, like you said, I mean, I love the comparison, the Dodgers of Major League of the NFL, because the Dodgers, it's not just about going out there and acquiring talent. It's about picking the right guys to pay.
Yeah.
I think Saquon Barkley is a perfect example of, hey, like we'll give you all the money because we like know what you're about. Like,
yeah, exactly.
Like the body's not going to fall off in the offseason. Like, you
have a great offensive line.
Great offensive line, perfect situation from that standpoint. And it's like, you're not worried about any off the field stuff.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, you just have to feel like all that money is going to the right guy.
Yeah, no, 100%. And the thing that I do love too about this Eagles organization is like fans are going to be upset about this, but D-Mac, they're going to go all in to go get Myles Garrett. They're going to try to sway him. And I know fans are going to say, well, that's unfair and this is not. When you're the biggest fish in the pond, you have your pick of the litter. You can eat first. If they're going to decide that Myles Garrett is who we want, they'll trade their first-round pick this year. They'll give a second-round pick next year. They know that if we get Myles Garrett, we might be able to be – you're talking about the Chiefs three-peating. They'll have a legitimate shot.
Yeah, I'm talking about the 5-peat. We're doing the 5-peat. No, but Eagles are scary right now. There's a lot of parity, and your schedule changes to a Super Bowl, a first-place winning schedule. But, Eagles are doing everything right. And here's the latest example. And also, too, last point on this, nice to see running backs getting some love. Nice to see running backs actually getting paid. And look, the new extension makes them the highest paid running back in the league. But I also think, too, for teams out there that weren't valuing the position, it opens things up. And it's not, I think the thing interesting about Saquon is he's not your classic in between the tackles, carry a guy a couple yards. It's the explosiveness with him. So, hey, like kind of the moral of the story here is if you're a great weapon, you're going to get paid. If it's as a running back, sure. But I think the Eagles just view him as a weapon and they paid him. He's a rare guy. There's not a lot of Saquon Barkleys out there growing on trees. But if you are a superstar running back, you are going to get compensated for it. And your value, I think, has gone up. But
they definitely saved the market this year. Him and Derrick Henry, Jahmyr Gibbs, guys saved the market for sure.
They totally did. And if you have talent, you're going to get compensated. I think it's the top level dudes are still going to get their bags. It's if teams looking for average running backs, you can find those guys.
Yeah, exactly.
Just the margin from like average to like elite, it's tough.
I think it's a gap still.
It's a huge gap. It's a massive gap because there's like three of those dudes. Like there's not a lot of those true game-changing guys.
And then you kind of got those two young guys. You got your Bijans and your Jahmyr Gibbs who are kind of like the next in line and take it up a notch.
And Gibbs is special. Gibbs is special because of speed, for sure.
He's special.
And Bijan's, he's like a fantasy darling. It's like sometimes these early running backs, like Taylor was, it's like they're fantasy darlings. And then you're like, how they look like on a good team. So they kind of need opportunities to play on actual contenders.